Welcome! I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and today I thought that we would unravel a crochet blank that I dyed by dip dyeing it into Wilton's Violet. The dyeing of this project has not been shown on the channel yet. It'll be featured in the week of the ChemKnits Dye-Along, the Sock Blank Special 2. The dyeing video will come out later, and the reason why I'm sort of unraveling this now as sort of a sneak peek to what you can expect from the dye-along is that I want to be able to show the finished unraveled yarn in the video, so that way there's not as much needing to connect the dyeing video to a later unraveling episode and stuff. So if I can trying to keep the pre-filmed videos from the Sock Blank Special pretty complete. I just released the dyeing schedule this morning for the videos that I'm going to release over the course of the week of February 26th. And we've got a lot of live, almost daily, a daily live stream, Monday through Friday, where I will be doing some kind of dyeing technique on both commercial knit. I think I've got one more crochet blank and also some homemade knit blanks that I made on my Singer knitting machine in a variety of fiber types, and we're going to explore a wide variety of techniques. And oh no, you didn't miss much. I just started. I'm saying that so I put a link in the comments, and it's also in the video description on the ChemKnits website, chemknits.com, that has the schedule for the Sock Blank Special Dye-Along that I'm going to do in February. And there are going to be a lot of videos. On Monday through Friday, I plan to release one pre-filmed video plus do a dyeing live stream. Of course, the live streams are all dependent on my kids actually, going to bed and going to school. So if another big illness hits, things might need to be pushed around a bit. But that's why I also want to have a pre-filmed episode each day, so that way if something disrupts the live streams, there's still a lot of sock blank dyeing content for you to enjoy. But anyway, so that's why I'm unraveling this now. And so in addition to all of the videos and the live streams that we have scheduled for that week, there will probably be a lot of unraveling videos in there, as well as the sock blanks that we dye on live streams dry. And so then, I might randomly pop in to just chat and see how people are doing. So, and all of these are, even if you can't dye, actually, you don't have the materials to dye along with me, you can dye any type of yarn too. You aren't, technically, I can't limit you to sock blanks. I want you to start dyeing at home. And so the purpose of this week is to really encourage you guys to take a step and to explore new techniques. And I thought that sock blanks were a fun theme because there's so many different things that you can do, and the creativity is really limitless, especially if you're really like an artist and can really draw. I've seen some amazing sock blanks out there that are way beyond my activity. So this video, I just said, this video has not come out yet. This is a sneak peek for a video that will be released. I think this video will come out on the Tuesday of the Sock Blank Special week. So this is a sneak peek because I need to unravel this so I can finish up the video. And I have a lot of fun chatting with you guys as I'm unraveling, so that's why I wanted to pop on and give a little sneak peek. When I first made this crochet blank, so I made it with 2 strands of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted weight yarn, and I crocheted them together. I think I chained probably 42 stitches and then did about 40 DCs back and forth. When I turned, I would chain 2. My crochet terminology isn't great. And then I kind of went until you can see that the last row, it doesn't go all the way across, but it didn't really matter. And you can see I haven't even cut the yarn yet. So here's the little loop at the end, and actually I am going to clip it right now. So we're going to start unraveling this. Now, when I was dyeing it, I think that I'm not used to doing something so short. So when I was dip dyeing it, I was a little bummed that I got this gradient and didn't get to the blues that I normally see. But if I pull the fabric, do you see the blue start to peek through? there's actually, I think we're going to see like little blue specks throughout this whole gradient. And so a few things felt different. One, the surface area of yarn is reduced here. Because of the crochet stitches, there's a lot more yarn hidden than in a normal blank. Yes, these are double crochets. They are double crochets. No, I mean that wasn't what I was sure about. How many, the like turn sequence and stuff. Those are the questions that I have with, I haven't written many crochet patterns, and I mostly crochet in the round, versus flat. But we do have a nice gradient, and I am excited to unravel it. But the real big reason to do 2 strands at a time is that we'll end up with 2 identical 50-gram skeins of yarn once we've unraveled it. And so this would be great for mittens, fingerless mitts or something. You could even do some worsted weight socks. There's a lot of fun things that you could do with this kind of matching set, asymmetric set in a worsted weight yarn. I feel like there was one other thing. The one downside for the way that I made this blank is that I made a center pull ball, and then I crocheted the blank by using both ends of the center pull ball, which we know from one of the last unraveling videos that I did, this means, or I guess 2 ago, this means that the 2 strands are going to be twisted around each other. So it might be at times be a little harder to unravel if I had started with 2 separate 50-gram balls of yarn and crocheted them together. Because if you think about the way that a yarn cake unravels, the outside strand will kind of wrap around the inside one. So I am going to try something that was a suggestion by one of you, and I'm going to put the 2 strands through these holes in my yarn bowl. So that way the twists are held at a further spot, and that might make it a tiny bit easier for me to unravel the blank onto my huge nitty knotty. So normally, because I get questions about this a lot, normally when I'm winding a skein, a 4-foot skein on a nitty knotty, I have one like this, where I have the ends perpendicular to each other, and I have about a 1-foot crosshair here. So when you wind around, you get a 4-foot skein. If I flip my center pull ball upside down, it won't twist as much. These days I've just been rewinding it into 2 50-gram ones. But instead, since I want to unwind 2 skeins of yarn at a time, I have a longer 2-foot section in the middle, and I have it in an H configuration. So these are totally parallel, they're parallel to one another, and therefore we'll just, rather than winding up and around, we'll just wind kind of like around and around. I think I missed a question. Eek. Hi, no, I'm just getting started. So again, here is the pretty gradient, but let's see. Of course I need to undo, there we go. So you can see, I don't know if you guys can tell, do you see the little speckling already? We've got the purple, but there's also, that's the bright blue that I love. So I went from, when I was looking at this, initially bummed to being super stoked. Oh gosh, you guys. There we go. Look at that speckling. I knew crocheting would be really fun. Oh wait, I forgot. I wanted to insert these through the yarn bowl. We'll see if I end up regretting this, but it might also give some weight to my system. Oh, now that you have a question, would you suggest trying, I lost the question. Would you suggest trying to use a nitty knotty to hold the hank of yarn so you can wind it into a cake? I mean, you could, it would be a little slower. I might be more inclined to try to use the back of a chair or something, so that way the yarn can kind of spin around versus a nitty knotty. If you can't get your hands on a Swift, or honestly, if you can find a willing partner to hold it for you. I know well, I'm in a photography group and everyone talks about bribing their children to be models. Hi everyone, you use the back of a chair for your skeins, yeah. So I may not like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna unravel easily enough that I'm gonna like that. So I'm gonna ditch the yarn bowl before we really get too far into that, because I think that if it was a knit blank, a homemade knit blank that was slightly easier to unravel than the crochet fabric, then maybe the yarn bowl thing would help. I'll have to try some other time. A button was another suggestion someone had. You made a Swift out of PVC pipe. Oh yeah, I've seen some cool pictures of homemade Swifts out of PVC pipe. Yeah, so the one thing I will notice about this initially, versus this crochet blank versus the knit blanks, is that it doesn't unravel quite as easily as the knit blanks, which actually might help as it's twisted. Because if it's super twisted, because I will be able to maybe not need I have a clip on hand, but not need that to help unravel it. But you see that it's just kind of hanging. But look at the yarn. Oh, I wish that I'm on my phone right now versus my webcam. But so I think with this one, oh dear. Good thing that's the other side. I don't know if you can really appreciate the speckling that we're getting here. But check out like this row. You now see the blue along the top where I've pulled the stitches off. It would be easier to put in a ball first. Yeah, it would probably be easier to wind it into a ball first, but I think that then I'd risk twisting it even more. I think ultimately each skein is only going to be about, actually maybe I should push it out versus in. Each skein is only going to be about 110 yards, so that's not going to be too bad. But already I'm feeling like I'm going to need to start untwisting. Yeah, the fingering unravels a bit easier. But check out this pattern. We've got breaking happening here within the stitches themselves. And that is just so cool. See, the nice thing is I can kind of use gravity to help with some of those twist issues. Oh, okay. Untwist, untwist, untwist. Although, let me move pull my elbow up so maybe you guys can see. But, oh dear. Okay, apparently it did not like me doing that. What on earth? There we go. What on earth did I do? But it's that blue line is making me excited. Oh no, it's making me not want to make a crochet blank. Well, I think that the issue that is that I have the two balls of yarn together, and maybe I did it a little tight. I have a crochet blank I did with a bulky weight yarn, and that one I think will be really easy to unravel. Yeah, just don't do the center pull ball. I think that's why I'm kind of stopping and pausing so often. And plus I'm just enjoying these amazing colors. But yeah, unlike the knit ones, I think that I just have to kind of like unwind it a bit. I have my yarn and cakes ready to go. Do you think it'll be easier than just using a bigger hook? Maybe. I use a size K hook. To be honest, I haven't unraveled that much crochet stuff in my life, which is probably part of the issue that I'm having as well. So I just didn't really know what to expect. But once I'm getting the hang of it, it's really not that bad. Eek. I'm certainly not irritated at this yet. Like I got kind of irritated with my homemade stroll blank. You just step on the blank. Yeah, if I weren't trying to film this, I would probably step on it. Yeah, I don't think I've had to like frog as much of my crocheting. Okay, we're starting to transition from the purple to more of a pink, but I mean, you know, this doesn't unravel as easily as a knit blank, but check out this cool pattern we've got. I mean, this is pretty unbelievable. And I have to say that right now, the center pull ball isn't making a huge issue. I think that it's more of just, although as I say that, I get a tiny bit stuck. Yeah, I think that this is really awesome. And I know that crochet in a blank might be more accessible to people who don't have a knitting machine and who don't want to buy commercial knit blanks. And so that's a reason, one of the reasons why I wanted to try it. The other was that I hoped that we would get something really awesome from the twists. And I think it would be really fun to explore the difference between, say, the yarn you dyed makes it worth it in the end. Yeah. I think that it would be really fun to explore the difference between maybe a double crochet blank, a single crochet blank. You know, all these different stitches that you do will change the pattern that you get. And as soon as I made the blank, I wanted to dye it in so many different ways. But I decided to start with sort of my signature Wilton's Violet, just because I wanted to maximize kind of what would happen from dye that might break, to give us a sense of what we should do with the next one. Here we go. Yeah, so even though we've sort of transitioned in color, it's funny, the gradient difference, oh, actually, I guess you can see it. I was going to say it's not quite as obvious on the blank yet, but it's still, you can see it there. But see, this is easier than it was on the knit blank. I have a binder clip that I used on my homemade knit blank to kind of help untwist as needed. But overall, I'd say this isn't bad at all. And since I'm on my phone, I might miss comments. So if you ask a question and I don't respond, just ask again. I'll get there. But I think just the fact that each row is so big and the back and forth of the flat blank, there's just, so these blue specks are coming from a bit where the yarn is twisted around each other and also just where it goes over other yarn. So this is actually, you know how I lamented that I didn't get my blue? Look at this yarn. I got my blue. I totally got my blue. So, yeah. But I think if you had a button with large holes, like a really big button, that might make it a little bit easier to do the wrapping. But sort of keeping my hand in between it, like I was going to do a long tail cast on, kind of helps as well. But yeah, I think I did realize with this one that this pink at the bottom is way more intense. It's almost like glowing than some of the other pinks that I get when I dip dye with Wilton's Violet. And I think that is because of the surface area thing that I mentioned earlier. I think that, you know, we're getting a lot more, like the purples were on the outside and we're getting these blues on the inside. So there was just less yarn accessible for the colors to bind. Separating. Yeah, and so this time, you can see I'm moving the skeins sort of towards the outside, so that way I can try to keep a little bit of a gradient where we see a little more pink and a little less blue as we go down. And I expect the pink to only intensify. Yeah, the blue specks are starting to get a bit smaller. But still, like this pattern So cool. Oh man. Like, I think I expected this to be fun, but this is even better than I had hoped. So, it's why sometimes you just got to go for it. Even if you still need to work on a better solution to unravel and untangle. This is actually something that, like, I mean, you can do it by yourself, but having another person on hand, if I had like if Keith were home and I could have him unravel / separate the two yarns while I wound. You could pin down the crochet to your sofa so it would help give you resistance. Yeah. Well, the one reason why I'm liking not having done that is because right now I can untwist it. So that sort of helps, but kind of off camera. Yeah, but I'm already like over halfway done, so that's really not bad. Yeah, you haven't started spinning. Eek! I saw. Do you ever start fiber from fleece? No, I've never tried that. All of the spinning fiber that I have has been prepared for me. I tried once. Oh goodness. I tried I have hand carders and I tried using them once, and that was a bit disastrous. I mean, I maybe carded my skin a little bit, and so I need to look at some tutorials on how to do it properly. But the first attempt was not great. I do need to learn fiber preparation because we have actually been saving some of I have an American Eskimo dog, so he's a white, fluffy, beautiful, beautiful dog. And we've been saving some of his fur to use for eventual spinning. And I know because of the staple length, I'd need to blend it with something. So I have a lot that I need to learn at some point. But, okay, maybe I will use this. I can clip it, maybe not, as a weight to help me untwist faster. There we go. Oh, you start from fleece. That's so cool. I mean, I think like my not so secret dream. Whoa! Haha! You can see having that weighted clip on that gave me some resistance. Uh-oh. I hear. Hi, Lucas! Okay, go potty, then go back to your room, okay? It's still rest time. Oh, okay. Well, let me know when you're done and I'll come help you. I think we might have a brief interruption as I help Lucas. My cousin's from... Oh, you got some alpacas? Oh, yes. A drum carder is definitely the dream. Oh man, to like dye fiber and then blend it would be amazing. But okay, now the gradient really is starting to show through here. But it's so subtle and delightful. Oh my. And yeah, but we're getting these blues all the way through. I mean, I got, like, when I did the Dip Dyed a Homemade blank, a worsted weight blank of Wilton's Violet, I'm coming, honey. Excuse me, everyone. Motherhood duty calls. I will be right back. I'm coming, honey. I'm talking to them for real right now. That's right. I love you, honey. Oh man. So, Lucas is asking me, are you talking to them for real? Do they want your yarn? The kid will become a YouTuber. Woohoo! I see a spinning wheel coming. This must be Rebecca's favorite colors. Yeah. Well, actually, this one was a gift. My cousin got this for me. But yes, I think that the Broken Violet are absolutely my favorite colors. I consider this like my signature colorway. Even though, like, I mean, I don't get a lot of credit for it per se, but I certainly am probably the person who has tried the most ways to play with it. I would like to think. Ooh. Oh man. I hope that I have offspring that want my spinning wheel someday. I'd really like my grandma's sewing machine, but I think one of my aunts has it, which is fine. But I'm the one that sews. So I'll tell him. He's like, but you need to keep it. And I mean, this one, I really might need to keep. But it's funny because I was like, ooh, I could make something to have mittens to go with like one of my hats. But I think I might need to crochet uh-oh. Come on, guys. Why are we all twisted? I think I might need to crochet a blank, maybe a single-stranded blank to do a gradient for myself with this because I'm just loving the way this has come out. Eek. Yeah, my grandmother's sewing machine also has a really, yeah, violet. I know, it's like the world knows that I like purple this year with the like Pantone color of the year and everything. My grandmother's sewing machine has this really cool table that it kind of drops into, which is a big part of the appeal. Yeah, purple has been my favorite color. My bridesmaids wore eggplant purple, and I remember feeling really, really sad when we went to get them because I was like, oh, yay, we're going to go pick up pretty purple dresses. And then I realized, oh wait, my dress is white. I'm not getting a pretty purple dress. So I was all bummed. Briefly. I mean, I had a wonderful wedding. I just wanted so I actually got myself a bridesmaid's dress for my rehearsal dinner. Not one that matched my friends, but one that was in consideration for their dress at one point. Eek, eek, eek. Oh, this is so, so cool. But yeah, I think that if I was going to make a blank exactly like this again, I might have someone help me just separate the two strands as I went, and then it would be kind of a piece of cake. But yeah, I mean, this is still significantly faster than making the blank. That's the one problem with making a crochet blank is that I can hand crank out a blank on the Singer knitting machine in, 20, 30 minutes. And this took hours. Not like many hours. I made 2 crochet blanks in a day. So it wasn't like an absurd number of hours, but it was still hours versus, minutes. So the prep is longer, but, no, don't twist around. There we go. But I think that the end result is so worth it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I hope that you guys are some of you will participate in the dye-along. I can't decide. Well, I hope a lot of people will participate and then share their videos with me. Or videos, share pictures of the blanks they dye with me. And then I have a few slideshows that I want to create. I've collected some pictures of things that my Kickstarter backers have made with yarn that I dyed. And then I think that it would also be fun to make like a dye-along slideshow where I can just feature, probably to music, so without commentary, a bunch of the different blanks that people created. And there's no promises on this one, but I don't know if maybe I'll add some kind of like contest or giveaway or something. Not like a judged contest, it would be like a random contest. I've never run a contest where I gave away something other than a digital prime. Hi, Ryder. I'm knitting my blanks now. Woohoo! Yeah, and I mean, people can continue to submit. Like, I mean, I love it when you guys share pictures with me. And now that we have the ChemKnits lab group, I love it because everyone's sharing their dyeing projects in progress all the time. So we get like, things in the pot where people are waiting to see how the yarn ends up, and then we get the reveal, and then sometimes people will share what they've made out of the yarns that they dyed. But this yarn is, this is just amazing. I love how this turns out. So then when it comes to the next steps of what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to have to wet the yarn to help get these twists out. I did. I did say your name. I said hello to you. Although actually there might be a delay between what I see and say and what comes out on the channel. But I am using mobile versus the webcam today. But oh my gosh, you guys, I love this colorway. And the group, yeah. Some of these yarns, I'm like, ooh, I need to try that. Well, actually, a lot of the yarns. And I do need, and I might need some help with thinking of some colors to combine for the videos that I'm going to be doing in the Stock Blank Special. Because I have a tendency to stick with blues and greens. Because that's sort of my comfort zone. Blues, greens, and purples. And so... And I mean, I go sunset sometimes with, oh, no worries. But yeah, I didn't have, sometimes I'll do like orange, red, and yellow, but I have these like ruts that I get into color-wise. You can put the yarn over a pot of boiling water and let the steam, oh yeah, steam would work as well. I just sort of go and I spray it with like one of the shower sprayers, or sometimes I'll use the kitchen sink sprayer, and then I just let it dry. I think after wetting it, you don't even need to keep it on the Niddy Noddy. Since I'm usually only doing one skein at a time, I will just leave it on the Niddy Noddy until it dries, and then once it dries, then I can finish the video and schedule it for, I think this one's February 27th. Yeah, so I love doing sunset yarns and stuff. Okay, so you'll notice right now that you'll notice that one strand is longer than the other. That's because I did know, and I've been aware that my tension of the two strands when I've been winding on here are not even. Okay. Hi, Michaela. Oh, man. But I am loving this color. We're nearing nearing the end. But actually, sort of pre-separating. Just like when I find on when I'm winding on the knitting blank, I sometimes have to pull out the yarns in advance for the tension. So pre-separating them sort of helps here as well. But, oh, this gradient is making me swoon, everybody. Swoon, I say. But I'm so excited to do the sock blank special. And I know that there's going to be a lot of videos and a lot of live streams. And I certainly do not expect that every person will be able to tune into every live stream. But I wanted to make sure to offer live streams at a variety of times, so that way as many people as possible would have the chance to tune in live, ask questions, chat, and stuff. And so, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to release the schedule in advance, so that way you could see what I was going to be doing in which video and then decide if you wanted to tune in. Yeah, the blues intermingling are really amazing. And like, I feel like even as we're getting towards this outside, they're becoming less and less frequent. And that is really fun. There we go. Yeah, because now that we're getting towards this end, you can still see that there's little bits of blue specks, but there's a lot less than there were earlier on. Yeah, I mean, it only, like, it took, I mean, I don't know what else I made that day, but it was very, like, soothing to do while watching TV. Oh, I think I watched, I watched just some, it was pretty mindless crocheting. But yes, I recommend taking the time to wind your yarn into 2 separate balls ahead of crocheting the blank, because I think that it would make the separating a tiny bit easier. But again, I mean, I'm not really having too much trouble. It's just with the crimped yarn, when you're trying to separate it, it can get a little tangled. So that is all. Yeah. Oh. I mean, I think I might go make another one while watching the Olympics. I realized today, and I mean, I feel like watching all these athletes kind of go for their personal bests and stuff. And I was like, well, I guess doing a sort of a thon type thing myself was making me feel like, ooh, I'm challenging myself with this many to do this many live streams in a row. But I think that the projects that I have planned should be fun. And the thing with hand painting yarn doesn't always lend itself for the best pre-filmed videos, because the hand painting can take a long time and is not always the most exciting thing to watch, which is why I have some of the more recent ones just sped up, so you can see me paint the whole thing, but done the last bit faster if the technique is the same as what I've done throughout that video already. But I think that with I think I like hand painting during live streams, because the pace of the dyeing is much slower than, say, dip dyeing, and it gives me time to interact with all of you who are watching. So I enjoy that. Yeah, interacting with all of you and honestly, a lot of the questions and suggestions that you guys give are so inspiring and helpful. Like, I don't think without comments on one of these, I would have started using a salad spinner to remove excess water from my yarn. All these things have been life-saving. And I mean, at this point, I'm just going and doing the rest. What I'm curious about is the foundational chain. Ooh, we've got like nice blue, but this pink is so bright here. Okay, so this is the part I'm curious about. Is the dyeing of the crochet blank going to be on the channel soon? It'll be on, I think, February 27th is when I'm having this one come out. Maybe in the evening. Because it'll be part of that, the dye along week. So this is sort of a sneak peek. But this way you can actually see the specs kind of come out as I unravel it. Okay, and now I can separate them so I can finish winding this onto the blank. But this is so cool. I love dyeing these double-stranded blanks and then getting the identical yarns, because this yarn by itself is super cool. There's no doubt that this is an amazing yarn. But something about the fact that you have this matched set of this like custom kind of thing just makes it even more amazing in my opinion. Because you can buy, it's often a problem if you buy like a gradient yarn from a store. Sometimes you get it and they start in different places in a colorway, or you get one and and I think industry standard is that you can have 1 or 2 breaks per skein of yarn. But when this happens in a gradient yarn, sometimes it doesn't get repaired in the exact order that it's supposed to be. So then it kind of disrupts the whole project. I saw, wait, I missed. Oh yeah, dip dyeing with a corner. Yeah, that's actually on my list. I think I don't know if I'm doing any live streams where I'm planning to do dip dyeing, but I am, I've been thinking about doing hand painting diagonal stripes in a gradient, because I think that you would get these cool, and doing it in such a way that you would get a full section of stripe and then get sections of mixed colors. But certainly dip dyeing the corner itself, I think, would be nice too. But yes, please share it. Here's our gradient, guys. I think that what comes through on the camera, you don't really get the purple coming through in the way it is, but at the top, so from where my eyes are, there are a lot of blue specks that you get fewer and fewer of the blue specks. And then but the purple also goes pinker and pinker and pinker until you have kind of towards the bottom, very, very few of those specks left. But this is just from a crochet blank that I dip dyed, and I dip dyed it straight. I didn't go from a corner as was suggested here, or anything like that. Now the thing with, dip dyeing from the corner with a crochet blank versus a knit blank is that you would get some more differences because, well, it depends, I guess, if you're doing single crochet or double crochet, because of how thick the rows are. But I really want to do stripes up it and into the middle of rows and see how that comes out. But yeah, I was like, ooh, the corner, or these like so many random patterns, just like there's so many possibilities. And that is what is so fun about these sock blanks. They truly are a blank canvas. And all bare yarn is a blank canvas. But when you're dealing with, it opens up so many different dimensions to the way that you can dye the yarn when you're dealing with it already assembled in a fabric. Because with a skein of yarn, you could wind a huge skein, you could do a bunch of mini skeins. There's a lot of different things you can do without a blank as well. I just think that, getting a true matched set of, for socks or for something, and then being able to draw whatever you want, being able to have your kids come and hand paint the blank and then turn it into a pair of socks for, a grandparent or, a relative. Like, there's so many things that you can do to evolve, especially involve children that are too young to otherwise participate in knitting because they just don't have the patience or the dexterity or anything yet. And so it's just, you know, there's so many possibilities that I have. I have, like in the schedule that I released today, there are 10 different videos between the pre-filmed and the live streams for dyeing episodes. And so that's basically 10 different ways, minimum 10 different ways that we are going to be dyeing these sock blanks. And if you think about it, that's cool. I mean, obviously there's so many, I post a schedule on Facebook. So I've posted the link to the so I felt like it would be really long on the Facebook post. I wrote a post, it's on ChemKnits.com, the first blog post right now, and I shared a link, that link to the ChemKnits post on the ChemKnits Facebook page. It's in this video description as well, and it's also in the like info cards that you see on the side. I also added the link to the Facebook event page that I made, which, I mean, people don't really need to RSVP to the event page or anything. I just figured it was nice to have one place where I can have updates to the schedule in case something gets missed in like my regular feed. So that's why I thought it was worth like having a spot to just share everything in one place. But yeah, let's see, the themes of the week are, there's going to be stripes and more stripes. There's speckles and sprinkles. There's stamping and stenciling, which is one I'm really, really excited for. There's spray painting with using like the Wilton Color Mist sprays. And I also have a misto container that you can pressurize and then spray. And I think I might also use like a more traditional spray container to see like the different kinds of effects we get with that. And I think one of them is going to be like tie-dyeing, and kind of random patterns kind of thing. And so those are the main themes that I'm going for on the Sock Blank Special week this time. And those are just the live streams. I've also got snow dyeing. We've got the dip dyeing of the crochet blank. I did stripes with Jacquard acid dyes. But all of the videos that I'm doing in the Sock Blank Special are going to feature either food coloring or commercial acid dyes. And the reason why I'm kind of sticking there is because then the techniques that you use with one can translate really well to the other. Oh yeah, it's going to be an epic week for me. They actually do make airbrushes for specifically for food coloring. You can buy like airbrush food coloring and food, and airbrushes designed for food. I actually looked into it a tiny bit, but if the problem that you can have with mixing your own food coloring for airbrushing, because I saw, on some message where a lot of people were wanting to not have to pay for the airbrush food coloring. They wanted to just try and mix it themselves because it would be cheaper. And I think that, it's a mixture of like the food coloring, some water, and some alcohol actually to help get the spray. But the big problem are clumps that clog the airbrush from what I was reading. And so maybe at some point that's something that I might get, but I try mostly to do techniques with things that people might have on hand. And I know that if I were to get the airbrush, that might, yeah. I mean, if I come across one that's a good price, I would definitely get it to play around with. And I think that if I was ever going to go more towards selling some of these yarns or something, I would want to get an airbrush or something for some of these techniques that I love, because I think it would help make more. Harbor Freight? Yeah, I know. I don't know. But I know that a lot of people are really excited for the stenciling. Are you going to do much acid dyeing during this Sock Blank Special week? So, yes. So basically, everything is going to be acid dye based. Okay. I'll have to check that out. technically food coloring is a type of acid dye as well, even though I know that that's not what you meant when you said acid dye, but I am going to only be doing acid dye based technique. So in the live streams, they might focus mostly on food coloring, just because like with the timing wise, sometimes that's a little easier for me to have on hand. But I do, some of the pre-filmed episodes are going to have acid dyes, and yeah, and at least I'm going to try to have some in one of the live streams. You're going to make some extra dye solution. Ooh, and make ice cubes. Yeah. No, I think that, I mean, I showed in one of the last live streams the sneak peek of the snow dyed blanks that I had made, and it's just amazing. But yeah, and so in each of the live streams in the Sock Blank Special Week, I mean, we'll keep going kind of as long as I can keep going for these live streams. Ooh, I'm definitely going to check that out. I mean, what, 3 of you have recommended that site now? Yeah, so in those live streams, I plan to keep going as long as I can. And so we'll maybe dye anywhere. Hi, welcome. If you're just joining, I am now chatting about the dye-along that I'm hosting starting the week of February 26th. There are 2 posts on my website that talk a lot about this. The most recent one talks about the schedule for the live streams that I'm going to do. And by each live stream and video, I talk about any special materials you might need for it. So the, you know, and it might say like, oh, if I'm going to use the like color mist sprays in this episode, or if I'm going to use sprinkles, that way, you know, like if you're going to try to like dye along during the live stream with me, which, you know, you don't have to do like actually at the time, but if you want to try the project that I'm doing in that episode, then you can help kind of gather the materials that you need for it. I know I've been slowly gathering everything that I need for this myself. And then, yeah, I also have a list of general materials that you usually need on hand for dyeing yarn. And I have lists of, in the other posts, I go more into detail about the types of equipment that I use, what you need to dye yarn, different sources for purchasing your own blanks. I know that a lot of you are choosing to make your own. I know a lot of you are choosing to make your own blanks, and I don't think I put a link to this in the description, but I will. And I like using these inexpensive Singer knitting machines, just because those are the ones that I've bought. I might have bought the one from Michael's to test out with a coupon that maybe I'll have an unboxing later this week if things arrive to show off. But you know, there will be a variety. I will showcase a lot of commercial blanks, and the Knit Picks blanks are the ones that I love. They unwind really easily. I love stroll fingering. It's one of my favorite yarns to dye anyway, so buying it in a blank is amazing. But I know that, that if you're not filming a lot of videos and stuff like me, that it can be prohibitive to go and buy your own blanks to use just to play around. And so that making them can be a good option. And so unlike the last Sock Blank special, which really only featured commercial blanks, I'm going to be doing, we just unwound a homemade crochet blank here. And so I will be using sort of both as I'm doing this. Now, as aside from violet and black, what are some of my other favorite colors to break? I've done, and I need to do another dip dye-a-thon with some new Wilton colors that I have on hand. I now have ivory, I forget what yellow. I have one yellow that could be interesting, and I have cornflower blue, are 3 of the ones I got my hands on recently. But I love, so royal blue is really pretty. There's not a lot of red in the royal blue, but there's just like, you get a tiny bit of purple at the beginning, and then you get these blues. Teal is gorgeous. Teal goes really from a teal to a blue. And let's see, Kelly Green also does some really, really pretty stuff. And so those are some colors that I really enjoy. Huh. But yeah, so now, with this, I'm going to have to go wet it and let it dry. But then, rather than, so when I do a live stream, oh yeah, I enjoy Delphinium Blue a lot too. Poor Delphinium Blue gets pushed aside to Violet too much. Delphinium Blue is amazing. And I have some Dharma colors that are like commercial acid dyes that are supposed to break. I forget which ones I have, but those, probably after the Sock Blank special, I'll pull out. These, I really liked some of these dyeing. I want to get one of the other, maybe moss green if I can find it or something, and have 4 colors to do another dye-a-thon live stream at some point. And so we'll just go through and try a bunch of colors and see what we get. These have always just been so fun, but we'll see like how long I can go in each of these. Oh, the copper was really, they're all gorgeous. Mixing copper and, what did we mix? Copper and Kelly Green. That was amazing. That was stunning. I was like, I hear a child up there. But, and I hope to do more than one sock blank in each live stream. And so part of that will depend on how my stamina is doing that day. And also if I have to like pick kids up from school and whatnot. But I think that, the goal is to do a bunch of blanks this week and just have so much fun. And then, I'll have tons of yarn on hand that I don't know what I'm going to do with it all. But hey, there are a lot worse problems to have than having a ton of hand-dyed yarn in your house. I thought that the Kickstarter was going to just kind of wipe out my stash, and it did for a while. I wiped out a lot of my stash, but not so slowly, it's quickly building back up again. So yeah, I probably will need to do another de-stash soon. So that's something that, could be a lot of fun. And so I'm working on seeing the best way to do that. Ooh, burgundy. A giveaway sounds good to you? Yeah. Well, I can't give it all away. That would not, I suppose technically I could, but that wouldn't really help out my ability to buy even more materials and go check out these cool airbrushes that you guys are telling me about. But anyway, I think I'm going to go and see if the Lucas will stay in his room long enough so I can film this before I go wet it to sort of relax the twist. But thank you all for joining me. Thank you. I really love doing these unwindings live because it's something that I have to sit down and do anyway, but it just really gives me a lot of chance to chat with you, and I really, really enjoy that. So if you want to buy some berry yarn like you saw here, my Knit Picks link is in the item description. And so that's always helpful. But also, think about what kind of sock blanks you want to dye. And also think about colors to suggest to me, because I always welcome suggestions. That's why I got the guar gum for like trying the stenciling and stamping, and we're going to just go for it and see what we get and see how things come out. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful afternoon or evening if you are further east. So thank you so much for joining me. Bye, everyone.